things going on in my head.
Here we go! It's time to do this once again! It's time to dim the lights and let the feedback build! 3 clicks and sticks, and we're ready to explode! We sing along!
This content is for informational and educational purposes only. You should not construe any such information or other material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. Nothing contained here constitutes a solicitation, recommendation, endorsement, or offer to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments whatsoever by Draper Gorin Blockchain, aka DGB, the presenter, or other associated parties for the content being provided. Please do your own due diligence and seek proper counsel.
Boom. What's happening?
I don't know. Bitcoin's still at 85,000. Are we selling out?
Oh, I thought we were going to pretend it was at like 50K for
Was it
April
50K?
Fools. Everything's on fire. Dolomite just shared the Dolo Polo on Twitter. And I think a person or two might have thought it was real, but it was an April Fool's joke. I'm 99% sure it was the April Fool's joke.
April Fool's
Get your
joke.
Dolo Polo. But a part of me was like, if I'm going to wear a polo shirt, that's a pretty cool polo to wear. I mean, the Dolo Polo. I don't know.
I think
You're wearing a polo.
Yeah, polos are the way to go. I think casual, and dressy.
I thought that the idea of wearing a shirt with your company's logo on it meant that you didn't have to wear a shirt with buttons. That was always my thing. And now Rankin the other day brought out that Rankin was like, we should make polo shirts with our logo on it. And I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose. No, you know what? Now I could go to events where you're supposed to wear a suit, because a t-shirt with your logo on it doesn't cut it at an event where you're supposed to wear a suit, right? But how about a polo shirt with your logo on it?
Exactly.
I just downgraded a little bit. It's branding. It's just
it's branding.
Good branding.
ETH has crashed. I mean, ETH is still at like what 1915. Actually, that's a good day today, right now on ETH. It's been like 1800 for a while. As I was discussing earlier, I mean, part of me is like feeling like I should just sell my ETH back, but also part of me feels like we're in a bear market.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird.
And
yet, I think institutions are still buying ETH. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's tariffs. I actually think interestingly enough, I think we are going to see a pullback, and that's not April Fool's. Just because if you look at like SPY charts on the SPY, like things are down. What's that?
Yeah. Oh, I was just pumping my arm for Emilio. Emilio, how do you feel about everything? You know what? I was talking about this. Who did I talk to? Jared. So Jared Wynn, our buddy that does crypto marketing stuff. And then I talked a little bit to my wife about it. Like somebody was, and a few people have said this to me, and this is even more hippy dippy weirdo than my normal rabbit hole conversations we get into on here. But Jared like texted, he's like, I think the vibes are just off. And I was like, what do you mean? Because I said something about California politics, kind of making a joke because he's in Northern California. And then he's like, yeah, the vibes are just off, and everyone's vibes are just off, just everywhere. And this is you sharing something. Okay, let me know when it's up because it's not up on the bottom. So
no,
but like I kind of agree. Ever since he said that, every single person it's like a weird universal, almost like low level depression that everyone has. It's kind of sad.
Well,
It's weird.
Everybody's thinking that tariffs are going to hurt everything, and like and you hear
I
all
don't
these
think it. I think I think you're right, but before we even go there, I think it's almost just like it's in the air. Most people just don't even know why they're a little
Yeah.
like. I think that everyone. I think there's a bit of a backlash. I personally get this every time something changes. I'm generally pumped. Like I hate to see things end, so I get some kind of emotional attachment to things ending. But in this case, something is beginning, right? Like a change, like new government. Even if you didn't vote for it, it's new. And then announcements don't mean anything until they actually affect us, and none of them are really affecting most of us yet. And
Well,
I think
all
everyone's
we
like
see-
sitting on their hands waiting for something, right?
all we see on Twitter is a whole bunch of people trying to trash on Teslas.
No, but that's the whole thing. I see. Like literally, people are messaging me like, "Bro, you have your
Tesla
Sentry mode on. Is your Tesla okay?" Because if there's something bad going on that's being amplified, everyone just assumes it's happening to every single person everywhere. And if you didn't know it was happening, it wouldn't be happening, right? But because we know it's happening,
you didn't buy your robot to protect your Tesla?
No, that was a good joke though, right? I
legit.
That would be an awesome announcement. Actually, that would be a great April Fool's announcement. Sentry mode, real robots, right? But look, there's that happening. You know what I'm seeing, which is nutty, right? I understand shitting on religion. I understand shitting on governments, but I'm seeing like I'm inundated. No, I'm not. This was a separate from Tesla because I'm going to go through all of the silos of bad news, right? That we're just inundated with, which is why the vibes just suck for everyone, right? Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of I shouldn't say conservative, but I'm seeing a lot of like the libertarian-y, the nutty people, right? Which I love 99% of the time, are posting just straight up weird racist-y, not racist, anti-Semitic-y things. Like as if every random person whose parents were Jewish and now they're just Jewish are like somehow in control of some crazy shit. Like it's like I'm seeing stuff on a level that's like I'm used to seeing shit like that, but it's like a whole different level right now. Yeah. And then all these conspiracies that are like I love conspiracies, but when they start tying in the normal people, you start realizing like, oh shit, like people are just going to be assholes to their neighbors now, and it's just weird. And so you see that on one side, you see Teslas going nuts on one side, but then you see on the extreme other side people just pointing at everything that Trump is doing, going like we're all screwed, and nobody is happy. We went from everyone like I think it's like
this guy named Rankin keeps posting these freaking music things about
how people accused Obama of like fanning the flames of racism, and people like, we never talked about racism more than when we had a black president. We should have been like, racism is over, or at least that's what people said, right? I'm not, going to agree with any side of this, but I'm just going to say that's what people said. We really are in this area where all sides are fanning the flames of the craziness, right? Because it's in Elon's best interest to amplify and show us every Tesla being vandalized and keyed, right?
Or what if we lived in a period of 1984, Orson Welles in 1984, and we're finally waking up to it, and it's all being exposed?
What though? Here's the thing: there's shit being exposed, but nobody's talking about Here's the thing: if you're no matter what side of anything you're on, look, Bill Clinton, right? So we go back in time, ran like Al Gore or Bill Clinton. Al Gore wrote a book about cutting government spending and things like that. Like he wrote a whole book about it. And that was supposed to be Bill Clinton's Bible. Like, we're going to get this done, right? And he was just a part of the same system that just kept pumping it up, right? You could be really pissed at Trump, right? And go, he's cutting the wrong things, whatever. You could be pissed about that. But in general, 90% of the things that are being cut, almost everyone should have no problem with, right? So, but instead of having this nitty gritty fight with each other, right? Like about the gray area, right? Like Emilia said, there's no gray area. You and I should be arguing, you know what? This program is actually good. This program is actually bad. Or I agree with this, but I wish they'd funnel it to an entrepreneur who could fix it properly. Whatever our argument is, we should be having those arguments. Instead, we're like, hang Elon Musk. He's, a horrible, which by the way, the greatest marketing for Trump ever is blaming everything on somebody else, right? Like, it's not Elon Musk. If he hired somebody else to do it, we wouldn't be talking about them. We'd be talking about Trump. But because it's Elon Musk, everyone's talking about him. It's great for Trump, right? But regardless of any of this, instead of having gray area and having arguments with people who we generally agree with and generally love their children the same way we love our children, we're going like, you're a horrible person. You're the evil person. You go to hell. You should be hung. You should be whatever is your version of the worst thing in the world. That's what we're doing to each other. It's nutty. And you know what? I'd say 90% of everything all the politicians do are totally wrong, and we should be mad at them. So I'm not like defending, Trump and Elon Musk. I would never do that. But I'm also I'm not going to blindly follow the other side, which is just as stupid, right? Like, come on.
I don't know if this is going to play if I push play. So I'm pushing play to see what happens.
You play your song, one of your songs?
I don't know.
I think what you present, hold on, let's go. If I click on share screen, there is the ability to also share the audio. So go to share a tab and put it in the same tab of what you're sharing now, and you should be able to audio. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So real quick, I was going to show you this. So here's the thing right now. This is the SPY SP 500, right? Right now, so we have a green line. So the SPY is the white line. The green line is a 50-day moving average. The red is a 100-day moving average, and the blue is a 200-day moving average. Right now, the SPY is trading below the 200-day moving average, which is pretty bearish. We already crossed the 50-day cross through the 100-day moving average back in like March 14th, which is a bearish
define
signal.
Define SPY for everyone.
The SPY is the S&P 500. It's like the top like 500 companies.
Are you just straight up showing the S&P 500, or are you?
This is straight up S&P 500 SPY. If you were to go to,
I'm just wondering. It's not adjusted for inflation or anything like that.
No,
the way
it's
you
not
sometimes
adjusted.
Okay, that's what I was just double checking.
But so that's what's kind of scary. I know, because I like to adjust the numbers by the money. But what's scary is like, so we've already crossed the 100-day moving average. We're trending down low. The problem is the longer we sit below the 200-day moving average, this 50-day moving average line is going to continue to trend. And if it ends up crossing, which would probably be over here somewhere towards the end of April, May, if that crosses, that signals a further downside trend, which means that we could see the market going down kind of the rest of the year. And if the market's going down the rest of the year, that's kind of bearish for at least financial markets, right?
Yeah.
And so that's, kind of a concern. Now, if we pop back up, maybe we can revert it. But right now we're kind of trending. We've already had the first pop up right here to, recovery. But then the thing is now we've moved down again. I anticipate we'll see another pop up before we see a further move down.
This is all based on tariff news and stuff, right?
Well, technical analysis. So here's the thing. Some technicians
no, but everything is down. Everything is down because of tariff news.
Right? Well, so the thing is, some people will say that no, really, technical analysis is what creates the market, and then people put the news to fit the market, right? So it's there's because there's more than just tariffs, right? There's the fact that you got Japan selling U.S. treasuries. You got all these other treasury things. But you can see over here what happened. Like this is in 22. We crossed through the red. I don't know. Let me zoom in. This is back in 22. We had a similar pattern. And if we look right here, we crossed through the red. We had a little pump up right here, further moved down. We moved up, but we already crossed through the blue because we were down here so long that then there was a bigger market sell-off. Right? And that was a pretty good market sell-off. And so, and the thing is here's the thing. It's one of these things. If the psychology of people go looking at the charts goes, oh, look, there's going to be a further market sell-off. What are they going to try to do? They're usually going to try to front run it, panic and fear, and be like, oh my gosh, things are going down. And so, they start selling off anyways. So what they wanted to stop ends up, being a self-predicted pattern. We ended up creating a downward movement simply because we're afraid of a downward movement, and so people sell off.
Yeah,
And then in the meantime, people are tapped out. People have got credit cards loaded, and we just
that's the scary thing. The scary thing is that the people are at the whim of this stuff.
Yeah.
And we generally, you and I are notoriously long, right? We are as goofy as we could be with crypto stuff and whatever. We're in all of our personal and professional holdings, we're just long, right? And the short term kind of happens, and there's short term stresses and things that always happen with everybody else, but we're long, right? And what I'm worried about here is people, right? So if it does what you're doing, the average person is going to get hurt, and that's going to be bad for the economy, on top of all sorts of hundreds of thousands of Americans being laid off and things like that. There's going to be honestly, if we were going to just do the natural progression, we should have a time of a recession before things get fixed, right? But here's the but.
Well, and it's a healthy pullback.
I think I emphasized how long we are because I was about to say the people who are in charge right now are notoriously historically short, right? Trump and all of his crew don't think that far ahead, hence all the bankruptcies and all the things and all that stuff. And I think that he's surrounding himself with a lot of people who will benefit from short-term, the more, what I've learned is that hedge funds and the biggest banks in the world make money because of volatility. So it being up and down is great for business. Right?
Oh, no,
exchanges are going to be gonna show historic record numbers when there's lots of selling and then lots of buying back, lots of selling, lots of buying back. And so
it's going to lead into something. And what it's going to lead into is, because we have stablecoin bills right now on the books, right?
Yeah.
We're going to see the market pull back, and this is going to give them a reason and an excuse to lower the rates. But not only that, but this is going to lead into stable coins, I think, in the banking space. And this is why I actually posted a tweet about this last night.
Let me just tell you, CNN breaking news 1 minute ago, President Trump's new sweeping tariffs will go into effect immediately after they're announced on Wednesday, White House says. So expect the markets now to do some more backflips.
They're going to react, right?
Yeah. Well, now there'll be a sell the news or whatever situation, right? So it's either going to pump everything this moment so that it can dump tomorrow, or vice versa. I don't know.
So
I just invest in startups. So Rankin, you tell me, because I just invest in startups and wait 10 years. And if they fail, I invest in their next startup. If they're successful, I win, right? Tell me what this means for me.
Which what it means. Well, so here's what the fascinating thing. So I posted this last night. I said, imagine a future where banks issue stable coins using depositors' dollars to buy U.S. treasuries dumped by foreign nations. With the Fed facilitating this, we could stabilize treasury markets, boost economy's growth, and usher in an era of digital dollar dominance, prosperity, and speculation. And I think that's where we're heading.
Yeah. Well, we're heading for a digital, be careful what we wish for, right? We don't want CBDCs, but we got them anyway. And now they're not really going to be, the government will have all the access that they had before, that they would have had if they had a CBDC. And who's in charge? The world's largest banks and institutions. What can go wrong? Okay, go play us a song.
I made a song. I don't know if it works. Let's see. Does this play? I don't hear anything.
I'm not hearing. So stop sharing your screen and then reshare it again with the, but make sure you have the thing. Make it share not the whole screen, but the tab, and say to share the sound for that tab.
To share tab or screen instead. Okay.
Down at the bottom, it should say include the sound or something.
I don't know where that.
If you send me the link, I can do it too.
The problem is I have too many tabs.
But when you click
here.
on share a tab, it should show you the most recent one.
Well, here, we can just do this. This will be easier. I can just share screen.
Yeah.
So I have the whole theory that we basically are moving to stable coins that will convert dollars into stable coins, will be detached from the original dollars, and then the banks and BlackRocks will take the dollars and buy up all the treasuries. So made a song last night.
Digital dollars on the rise, taking the world by surprise. The Fed's got our back, it's all in the plan. Stable coins in the hands of every man, buying up treasuries, holding it tight. We're marching to prosperity tonight. Oh, the stable coin moves were riding high, watching the old world passing by. Treasuries fall, we'll scoop them up. Digital dollars fill our cup. It's a wild ride, no looking back. In the age of speculation, we're on the attack. The stablecoin blues, it's the future we choose. In the era of digital dreams, we'll never lose.
So, I think that's going to be like the future of the money printing, right? It's just
can we do something?
What's that?
Can you open up Suno? Let's paste these lyrics into AI and say, can you make me an angry punk rock version of this? And then ask Suno. Yeah, let's do it live just to show people how.
I'm out of credits right now.
Text it to me. I haven't used Suno in a while. Or text me just this link. It's gonna be funny.
I know you like the punk rock versions more.
I just think it'll be really funny. Suno.com.
I'll send it to you in Slack. How about that?
Okay.
I actually came up with my own like little genre of music that I'm liking right now. This is the song that I made. This is pretty cool. I like this one.
Well, the greatest fought wars, they labored and saved. To breadlines and hardship, they learned to behave. Then Roosevelt's magic with New Deal design gave jobs to the weary and factories to shine. The silent generation, they played it so cool, inheriting wealth while they followed the rules. McCarthy kept quiet and they worked till they dropped. And oh, how the boom of their assets just popped. Oh, the dollar went floating, the gold standard's gone. Nixon said, let it go, and we all sang along. Boomers bought houses with wages so high, while millennials and Gen Z can barely get by. The wealth piled up while the debt ballooned, and the future's been mortgaged for far too long. In 7-1, Nixon said gold no more. The dollar was free, but the rich just got more. Inflation crept in, but who paid the price? It wasn't the boomers with homes built so nice. They rode that wave with assets galore. Stocks, bonds, and pensions, retirement secure. While answers got Reagan and trickled down lies. The wealth never trickled, just flew to the skies. Oh, the dollar went floating, the gold standard's gone. Nixon said let it go, and we all sang along.
So anyways, it's fun creating this music. And actually, this brings up a good point, a good topic to bring up right now. Is we actually invested in a company, right? A nice segue, in a company that's doing AI music. It's actually two musicians who have a history of doing music and that are utilizing AI as a tool to help them build out a library of AI music. Which then can be listened to across Apple, Spotify, and other platforms. So I'm kind of excited. They're actually creating a whole bunch of different artists to fit different genres. And I'm hoping to be able to, maybe hopefully put some of my own style of music in there with them. Obviously, I like doing more educational stuff. But they're actually putting together some pretty cool stuff.
It is really cool. So I listened to some of it last night with my kids, and I was showing them how crazy it is. It's really, really cool. Hey, stop sharing your screen. I'm going to share something right now. So I put your exact lyrics into ChatGPT. I said, make this an aggressive punk rock song with lots of expletives. And I pasted it into Suno. It's making it right now. And I'm going to share my screen. All right, you guys ready? I have not heard this before. This first version. This is the style of music. I just put punk rock, hardcore. Let's see what happens. How to play it. Tell me if you can hear it.
Yep.
We got the goddamn banks in the fucking game. Printing coins, thinking they're fucking claim. Digital dollars, yeah, they're rising fast. Smashing the system, burying the past. The Fed's on board, it's all been rigged. Stable coin junkies getting real big. Buy out the debt, let the old world run. We're cashing in on the motherfucking plot. Yeah, it's the stable coin news. We're riding high. Flipping the bird as the boomers cry. Treasuries crash, we'll buy the fucking dip. Digital cash on a rocket ship. No breaks, no rules, just cold hard stacks. In this degenerate age, we're leading the pack.
So my only problem with the song is I had somebody make a comment yesterday that Gen X's are the generation to take a swear word and make it an argument. So the addition of adding swear words in there, I'm like, maybe that's a Gen X thing.
I don't know. Who cares? I just wanted it to be funnier and more aggressive. Hold on. Let's hear the other version. It pops out too, and then
so it took the words and rewrote the song a little because there was no swear words in there.
No. I took your words, I pasted it into ChatGPT, and I said, "Can you make this an aggressive punk rock song with and add expletives?" Is what I said, and I just cut and paste exactly what popped out of it. So it added the swear word.
Okay.
It threw the F word right into the title of the song.
Shame on GBT, dude.
I was surprised actually. I didn't think it would. I thought it would tell me that it can't do that, but it did. Let's hear the other version.
Yeah, it's getting looser, huh?
Apparently.
I like this. This is a little more myself.
And it's going from side to side. I got
goddamn bags in the fucking game. Printing coins, thinking they fucking claim. Digital dollars, yeah, they're rising fast. Smashing the system, burying the past. The Fed's on board, it's all been rigged. Stable coin.
Anyway, that was fun. So you know what? I think we should start. We should start a genre of music that's all about really nerdy, like end the Fed, type of
without saying
type of lyrics.
Okay,
without saying it, right? There'll be like and then we should create multiple bands, right? Like so that we can pretend like they all play shows together and stuff like that, but really they're just all pretend. And then,
if you look at early punk
and then like
rock,
7 nerdy dudes between the age of 40 and 60 will listen to it.
Early punk rock was about social, like political and social issues.
100%. But if we're playing like Suno versions, it's like lowest common denominator generic punk rock, right? Like it's super cool because we made it in 2 seconds. But like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
we're not really engineering really hardcore prompts and
Oh no, I'm taking some effort. I go in ChatGPT, I write it out. What I do is I go, give me a list of all these different policies that were biased towards a certain generation, and then I go, okay, now let's write a song about this.
Nice. Yeah, no, you're diving in deep.
I'm
just rewriting yours with a few extra bad words.
That's fine. I don't think anybody else likes my style of music either, so it's okay.
We should do it. That would actually make that its own genre. It's just inappropriate ranking, right? It's like just take everything you post and make offensive versions of it in a song. That would actually be pretty awesome. That would be really funny is to take like really
well, that's what's so cool about this.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the song. I got to play this one.
Okay.
You will appreciate this song, and this is the perfect time to play it. Presents. Share screen. Everybody enjoy this song.
Coinheads, New York. That's what Emilio said. We gotta check.
In the game, issuing coins, they're making a claim. Digital dollars on the rise, taking
I don't
over
believe this is
by
the right version.
surprise. The Fed's got our back. It's all in the plan.
No,
Stable
it's the wrong song. Hold on, wrong song. Sorry, right here. This is
You see the news, inflation's on fire. Your dollars are dying, but you still admire that piece of green paper they keep printing away, like it's worth something more than Monopoly play. You stash it in banks that gamble and bet, while they lend out your cash and pile on debt. They're bailing out cronies, but you're in the net. So tell me, man, why haven't you bought Bitcoin yet? Why haven't you bought Bitcoin yet? You trust the Fed, but live with regret. They devalue in dollars while you sweat and fret. Come on now, why haven't you bought Bitcoin yet? They say it's a bubble. They said that at $1, now it's worth more, but they're still out of luck. Too volatile, they cry while they're drowning in debt. But stocks are just bubbles, they haven't popped yet. They say digital gold, man, that can't be true. But your bank account's leaking while they rob you too. They're inflating away while you drown in the sweat. So tell me, friend, why haven't you bought Bitcoin yet?
It's pretty awesome. You know, you just need whole playlists of songs about.
Oh,
Bitcoin.
I do. I have that. My
No,
wife.
we gotta.
Your music
talk-
is so depressing, though. It's all about
You know what though?
about horrible economies, about why people should have Bitcoin, why the dollar's failing. Like,
You know
she's
what's
all
really
like,
funny though? I think that a lot of people, myself included, love super depressing music. You know, like
think so.
I listen to really depressing music a lot, and it's like it's weird, but there's some psychological thing like we need it. I don't know why.
We need to change it. It's like,
You know what's funny is that song. It's like rocking and upbeat, but depressing lyrics. You know what? Like, you should talk to Calypto, and you should be one of the categories or something. It would be really fun.
make a genre of music.
It's all about monetary policy and Bitcoin.
Yeah, about political issues, about things that we don't want to talk about.
Well,
but
like
we should.
there's like a whole weird categories of like subgenres of music of like dudes rapping about nerdy things, you know, and stuff like that. Like that, those exist. So why not? I know. I'm totally into it.
Let's talk about history in a song, you know, learn something of what we're doing here.
That's right. It would be great. So, all right, Emilio, you're here. Anybody else who's here? What should we be talking about? You know, we did launch. We haven't really talked about it publicly yet. We haven't even put it in our newsletter. I think it's coming out this week. We launched a new version of the DGB website, which, by the way, I've not done the little normal share that Zuda did it last time, which was pretty awesome. Go to dgb.vc if you have an early stage startup or you're an early stage investor, you want to be one in our space, come reach out to us. We want to hang with you. We want to meet you, and we want to be the first check into your company if you're doing something awesome. But also go to dgb.vc if you're in the community, you want to get on our newsletter and all that. In fact, have we tested that the newsletter sign up works properly on the new site? Help us do that, everyone. Go sign up to the newsletter on dgb.vc. You can check out our whole portfolio. I think that some of the content isn't totally there yet. We're more than 90% of the way there. So please check it out. Boom. Isn't that slick?
It is. It is.
And go to click on the portfolio tab. Or yeah, you can scroll down and check that out.
Down.
Yeah, scroll to the bottom and show people where they sign up to the newsletter.
Right. We got some portfolio companies here showing.
Yep. Which, by the way, it's not showing. This is either a bug or we need to fix it. It's showing all the companies, not just the featured ones on the homepage. Might want to double check that. See, we're bug testing live here. There was only supposed to be, I think, 9 or 12 of the
okay. Well, we can go back and look at that.
Yeah. So scroll down to the bottom to show people where they sign up for the newsletter. Boom, right there. So sign up the newsletter at the bottom there. click on the portfolio tab or on the
Yeah, that's a
portfolio
fun tab.
button. Yeah.
That's a fun tab.
Boom. That's my fave right there. See the map, and we gotta adjust it because I don't think everything is there yet, but we'll double check.
And notice we're missing some stuff for South America
That's right.
and Africa. So
Yeah.
if your company come pitch us, because we would like to get some exposure and throw some dots up on the screen.
Come on, we gotta
Really too.
Australia. Where are the Australians at?
I'm just thinking this over here.
Any Russians?
I don't know if we're allowed to play with Russians yet, but Japan, North Korea.
Yeah, we'll do
South Korea. North Korea, I don't think we're allowed to touch either.
That's cool. Yeah, I've met lots of amazing South Koreans. They were early to the crypto space. Yeah, but this is the cool part where you can actually, drill down on companies by category or which.
We also gave some, some love to your previous DGH studio. So if you're part of the DGH studio, you can actually filter by the studio to see.
By the way, if you're one of our companies, we're waiting on some content from a lot of you. So send us some content to put on your page.
No,
well,
but
there's Calypto you were just talking about.
Yeah, we talking about Calypto. So you can go through and you can see some. They don't have a whole lot of information yet, but we'll get some more. What's really cool is like some of our portfolio companies from like DGH, where we have a little bit more information. Where I'll give a shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. That's what I was about to say.
So he's got one of the cool ones because he's actually got a couple different products going on. And since he's got different products, we can actually show off his products here. And then if, from the site, you can actually go right to Kevin's site and go over and see his the page. So that's kind of a cool feature from the website.
Heck yeah. It was really important to us to have more complete information out there for all of our investors and for all of the communities and all of our portfolio companies. So now we have a really great spot for them to show off whatever they want to show off. And
exactly.
And the website that we had before was literally something I built temporarily, like on WordPress, just like, oh shit, we're launching this, we're announcing it publicly, we should have something here. Then just shoestrings and bubblegum, patching it up over time. And we've been talking about doing this for a long time. We finally did it. Shout out to Proto Coding. They built the website. They're one of our portfolio companies, and this is their page on the site. If you need developers who understand AI and develop products in that space, you reach out to us. We'll connect you directly with Proto Coding.
They're actually doing some type of function right now where they're potentially doing a free website for a few companies that sign up.
If you hurry up, they may be able to give you a free website. They're going to do it for, I think, 5 companies, and I'm sure spots are filling up quick. So
I don't know if they selected them or not yet, but it's kind of cool. Then you got the About Us, which I think we're still thinking about throwing a picture in there.
Yeah. Oh, we have a really cool timeline that Nate did for us. Here, I can actually share it on the screen. Hold on, let me add.
Hold on. Let's show the the best part of it, right? The awesome team and those drawings be famous.
Done by Crypto Comics, Crypto_comics with an X. Oh, she's there. We had removed her from here, and somebody brought her back on. You know what's funny is she messed with us. She took over the page. She did this for us, and she put herself in the middle of the whole thing. That's really funny that she's back on there. She was taken off, but apparently, best artist ever, comic newsletter publisher, crypto news editor. Shout out to her for doing making all of our caricatures. We were going to switch them out. We still might, but
we might as well show off the love. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
That's right. Thank you to Crypto Comics for hooking it up.
Keep up the news on the portfolio.
So this is the timeline that Nate had created. I'm putting it on the screen really quick. Oh, it's like covering the whole screen. It's very cool. It shows like a timeline of when Tim first invested in one of my companies in 2012 to me joining the Draper Venture Network, then investing in David Blesniak's company Total before they were acquired, to then starting DGH with Tim and with Joseph, and then starting starting DGB in 2023, and now we more recently launched our next fund. And so it's awesome. When you see stuff like this on paper, when you start getting it together, it looks really rad, and it's really exciting to think that I've been working directly or indirectly with Tim for almost 15 years now is kind of mind blowing.
It is.
It's like 13 years since we started working together. That's kind of insane.
It is. It's very insane. Time flies.
It's crazy, to think even just, that was pre-crypto, right? Yeah. But not far pre-crypto, because 2013 we're already experimenting, and Boost was already doing their Bitcoin stuff. But to think even just 2017, 2018 times as being 8 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's nutty. We would joke that, crypto is like dog years, where every year you pack in like 7, but it really.
Well, then you start having kids, and you realize, oh my God, like how much time has gone by already?
Yeah, imagine being as old as David Rankin, man.
I know. I mean, to think I have a kid that's almost graduating college by now. It's like
that's wild.
It is.
I hope he's going to be ready to take over soon, right? He's and then I mean for me too, like take over everything. Like
maybe. Hopefully he figures this AI stuff out. I'm getting there. Like build something in AI and I get it like 90% of the way there, and then the other 10% I can't figure out because the AI just doesn't listen to me.
But he's an engineer. He'll figure out the other 10%, and then we're there.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how good of an engineer he is.
Yeah, a lot of these tools too now. We tested some of them. We played with them. We're going to be doing more either on this live stream or another we're talking about right now. And I like the one AI doing the work, and then them creating a loop with like another AI to test it and figure out the problems. Like it's happening now where it's getting better and better. Like just in every week, it's getting better and better. It's really freaking cool.
So I don't know. You guys, I don't know. But I guess I don't know if it's me being a troll or just me being frustrated. But this guy. Posted from I think he's from Replit, right?
Yeah.
And he's like posting, I no longer think you should learn code. And so I posted this. I said, until you debug your Replit code and get caught in a loop, eventually someone may need to look at the code and provide an alternative solution outside the circle.
I like that. What's funny is if you look
this
at
is how I feel playing with Replit and making code.
By the way, have you looked at that picture? Because it is a circle. It doesn't actually go down.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Stairs don't lead anywhere. Oh, okay.
I made that with ChatGPT.
I thought that was a happy mistake.
No, this is intentional. This is how I feel playing with Replit right now. It's like walking in a set of stairs where I can't get off the stairs because I go.
By the way, since last week, the ChatGPT update with the image stuff has been getting a lot of love. And
you've had good luck with it. I haven't. But
dude,
maybe that's because I haven't been.
It's insane. I literally took selfies of myself on my phone and just went, draw me like a comic book, like inked, like a punk rock flyer. And it was popping out pictures that were like crazy good. Here, look, I can hold on. I'm gonna upload a couple right into the chat here. Just
boom.
That stuff. Well, so that was me. And what's crazy is I had it do a picture of my ape. Then I added in your ape, which is the one in the middle. Then and these were separate things. I was like, throw in David Rankin with the microphone singing along. And then I was like, here, throw Sailor Gary in there holding up his bottle and singing along. And it just kept adding it in. Then I was like, make us Muppets, make us this, And
well, then I had to write a song for it too.
But here's a crazy thing. I gave it this flyer, which is one of my favorite old flyers, right? This is some bands that were local bands to me, like Aggression, Dr. No, Ill Repute. We're all from Oxnard. They're all Nardcore bands, like the band that I use on the intro of this thing. I gave it this, and then I said, you see how like the faces are split? This is a famous artist, Jamie Hernandez. They did a comic book called Love and Rockets, but one of their brothers was in the band Dr. No, and so they would make all these old flyers, which were like these iconic comic book style. Or I gave that to them, and it didn't totally copy it, but I said, I love this flyer. It's my favorite one. I gave it my ape and a picture of me, and I was like, do half and half the drawing, and it popped this out.
Which is pretty impressive.
Which was really impressive. And then I just took a selfie of myself and I was like, make me in the comic book art style. And it just popped that out. Like that's in like 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty radical, right? Like it's, you know, what's funny is it like did it, but it also auto corrects things. Cause you see like my glasses are like different than this. So it wasn't like an exact copy. It still does some processing and thinking, but it's nutty how well it works.
Really good. It came out really good.
It's
creativity is interesting. You know, the thing is, people are afraid of it that it's going to hurt artists and ruin it. But the thing is, I think it just enhances creativity and allows you to produce things a little bit faster. I mean, if you're an artist, you can still draw stuff and then import it and have it, tweak it, and do whatever else. It's like Photoshop, right? Photoshop just took those who had skill and enhanced their skill and made them that much more productive and faster.
I think so too, but I still think there is
there's gonna be
I think there's a category of like starving artist kind of person that like made their money off of people who couldn't afford expensive artists, you know, like I know a bunch of punk rock friends who got jobs in cubicles or whatever, like the rest of us, like all of us had to get jobs, feed our families, whatever. And they make extra money on the side. Like, oh, this person's paying me $200 to draw something for a flyer or for an album cover or whatever. And that stuff, it's the person who goes $200 or free, you know, or like, you know, practically free. And they're just going to use the practically free. And that's going to hurt some people. But at the same time, maybe not. Maybe those other, you know, I think it's not going to hurt like musicians as much as it'll hurt like artists like that I'm talking about. Right. Because musicians, I think there'll be more emphasis on live.
You want a live band. I mean, we've had MP3s playing music for a long time. If you just want to DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, so that doesn't really change it, right?
Yeah.
What's nice now is you can customize the music using AI and generate your own music to make it so that way you're not using copyrighted material that you should probably be paying a license for, which most DJs don't. Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's my justification for that was here's Zuda. Well, I'm going to say this before we welcome Zuda in, but like my justification for basically stealing music for parties and for online and for restaurants or whatever is if I play Bad Religion all day long, blasted out of my car, and I create a new Bad Religion fan in one of you guys, you'll join me at one of their concerts. They'll make money that way. They've like the illegal sharing of music ended up being excellent marketing for good bands, right? For whatever. And so they might have lost money in one place, but they're gaining it somewhere else. Here, you're going, I can create generic punk rock music that says the name of my company in the song, and I'm going to play that all day long and not play the real thing.
It's like the government. They want a piece of every transaction, and they're just greedy.
Well, the labels and the things are greedy. I think most bands just want people to listen to them, right?
Not looking at the bigger picture, right? The bands benefit, but it's the labels who are just kind of greedy, just like the government.
Zuda, welcome.
Yeah.
You're joining us for the last 5 minutes. How you doing?
Not great. That's why I'm late.
Well, I hope everything's good now. I'm happy to see you.
I'm doing better. Yeah. But did you get my? You got my text. But I'm working on something new on how we can fix the AI art problem.
Oh, you know, I saw some text that I didn't get to dive into the text yet, but I saw over the weekend you had messaged me something about the public domain. You wanted to do something with the public domain.
We can train AI how to draw any art style, like Ghibli style, which you've seen lately, using that art.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool.
It's still a soulless machine replacing a human being.
Well, he's
It's
saying
still a
without-
machine. Yes.
Oh wait, you know what? It's still a machine, but is it soulless? That's the argument we've been having the last few weeks. What you've built might have some semblance. What is a soul?
Well, the version I'm running right now is absolutely soulless. Yes, the art version.
It's a bunch of energy inside of you.
What are we? We're just a different. We're just running on a different level of efficiency, but we're just energy.
True. But when you're simply doing input, output, and you have no idea what you're doing, that's just a machine.
Not all of us know what we're doing.
Wait. Well, yeah. I don't know.
I'm trolling. A
lot of us work through autonomous like motions of like just.
Well, we
surviving.
do. We wake up. You do your job. You go home. You eat.
Who says
You
I know what
drink.
I'm
You
doing?
sleep. You do it all again the next day.
And then
You
you're
know,
a
not
creature of
much
habit.
to-
You just
We
repeat the
are.
pattern, and it's all like through like chemical processes and like things living in your gut, driving you forward to like consume food and then work so you can consume more food, and then tell you should exercise once in a while. Are we that much different?
The only addition I would say, you
And
work.
we're coded with DNA. DNA is our instruction set, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, but in our training data is school.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's supplemented by things outside of school.
I mean,
But,
what would
you
happen
know.
if you were born in a black box and you never touched society, you never knew anything?
I don't know.
Like
I'm
if
sure
you-
some evil people have done some experiments.
Yeah. Well, like there's a guy who went in a cave, and when he was in a cave, his whole perception of time was completely distorted when he came out.
Oh, sure.
Well, yeah,
Black. He was living in the dark.
Yeah.
Away from society.
and also a pure white room will drive you mentally insane.
Interesting.
Pure white more than if it was dark.
Yes.
Is
There-
that why Alaskans and Siberians are nut jobs?
I can't comment on that, but
half
I don't know
of
that.
the year the sun barely goes down.
I do know that they have experimented with pure white rooms and people go insane in them.
Maybe it's just the people who volunteer for those kind of experiments who are also insane to begin with.
I think it was a prison.
Oh, great. That's messed up. Okay, we only got 2 minutes because I have a call after this I got to go to.
Okay.
Duda, anything you want to talk about for the last 2 minutes since you just joined us? Any April Fool's jokes?
Oh yes, I really serious coin. It's my 9th coin, day 9. Trying to be people of joke coins, and it's seriously about nothing. And I released a video about it.
So it's just like every other coin.
Yes, except except I'm being serious. The only difference between me and every other coin is I say you're getting nothing. I say I can sell whenever I want, and I say the quiet thing.
Yeah, I like it.
So you have
like
you have a channel on YouTube?
Yeah, and Wednesday I'm starting my podcast, and I can't get anyone, so I'm gonna interview my dog.
What time is it on Wednesday?
Probably like 11 or 12.
Do you have a
What is
set
it?
time?
Is it-
Text me when you have a set time, because if I don't already have a meeting, I'm just gonna start crashing your live stream like you do mine. It'll be awesome. We'll just start hanging out, which I appreciate. I'm saying that with love. Like I like you popping in because I would
12.
tell you if we, around 12. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try to figure it out. That'll be cool. Can I interview your dog?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Looks
Zuda,
like a
what's the
super
weirdest?
world.
What's the weirdest or coolest AI images you guys have seen in this past week since it got really hypey this week? Anything? I know that everybody was sharing the Ghibli style things, which is like those anime things. That was neat. It was all anime. But we've seen it before. It's just
Trans Trump.
Oh, I gotta find that. Is it exactly what I imagine it is?
I actually generated it.
Oh, great! You're trying to get us in trouble here. Somebody we may or may not have known shared it.
Judah is not affiliated with DGB or DGB.
I'd like to be.
Well, we these were before he was affiliated with DGB. Anyway.
I didn't release it publicly. I was just playing around.
I mean, that would be really funny to watch. I'm a big fan of trolling people, and especially people who would not like the troll, right? Like everybody knows that my stupid I'm not really famous for it, but I talk about this all the time. Like I love when people who, in my opinion, are pretending to be religious protest something that's very not accepting and not loving the way that their religion taught them to be accepting and loving. And I love screaming out my window to those people, "See you in hell," because I just think that's the stupidest thing I could think of to say to them, which is just dumb and I know it's very juvenile of me, but I think it's really funny. For that same reason, I just love trolling people in the way that they're going to get more.
If you want someone unique and eccentric on here, you gotta have my friend Vermin Supreme, who wears a boot on his head.
Yeah, that's the guy that's running for president, right?
Yes, for the 10th time on 2024.
That's awesome. Did he get any votes? He gets
Yes, he got
thousands of votes each time.
0.02% of Delaware in the general, and they got like 5% altogether in the primary.
That's crazy. That's pretty awesome.
I've got one more thing to share.
Okay, share one more thing, and then I gotta drop.
Yeah. So, so if you haven't ever been there, DGB Studio in Voxels, somebody brought up Voxels yesterday, and so we had to make some updates.
You had a second floor?
The second floor was already there, but we updated Turf GG's logo.
Yeah.
With those there and Thurman Labs.
Thurman Labs. We gotta get an update from Garrett and have Thurman on. I'm really excited about Thurman.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna drop you. You wrap it up and
that was it. This is showing.
Bye everyone.
People.
It was great to see you all. Go to dgb.vc. Check out the new website. Let us know if there's any bugs or things because it's brand new. We didn't tell anyone about it yet. Zuda.
Make portraits work for dogs.
I'll talk to them about that. Thanks everyone. See you next week. Peace out. Thanks for joining us last minute, Zuda.
Bye.
Bye-bye.